1.
Hello, welcome to our Sprint 2 video. I hope everyone has a wonderful Sunday. Almost done with the semester. We're all happy. Done a lot of work on our project. For Sprint 2, our main priority was just pumping out a bunch of features because for Sprint 1, we didn't do that much. But this Sprint 2, we've done a lot. We've completed over 6 user stories this sprint. And something about our project is basically it's a Canvas clone almost. It's a learning management system that there's a teacher and a student, and that's pretty much it.
Hey, so you go.
Yes. All right. So in our backlog document, as you can see, our group members got a lot of user stories done. I was in charge of implementing the user login as well as the admin UI page for the grade tracker. Seth was able to implement inputting the student grades and feedback and submitting an assignment, as well as modifying grades and creating and modifying assignments, while Marcos was able to implement the creating and modifying modules user story, as well as viewing grades and the grade feedback. Overall, we got most of our features, most of our user stories implemented, and the last thing we need to do is focus on the sending email as a functional requirement for our grade tracker.
Okay. So I can stop sharing the screen. All right, now we got the Kanban board, and then this was what it looked like at the start of Sprint 2. We had most of the features on the to-do list, and well, we had some in code review, and then midway to the sprint, around like a week and a half in, we we got most of them. We got some features done. There were still three of them that were in progress, but and two that were still in testing. But overall, most of them we were getting done. And then at the end, we got most of them done. There's still one in testing. That was my feature for reworking modules and the creating the modules feature. That one's still working on. I'm having some issues, but I think I should be able to get it done by the end of sprint 3. And then yeah, that's it. You want to show off the feature set?
Yeah.
Hold on. How do I stop sharing? Oh, shit.
Um,
There.
there we go. Let me launch it again. So for my sprint, I mainly worked on announcement, syllabus, assignment, and files. So for announcement, a professor can come in here and say like, "Oh, announcement quiz 1," and then like you can enter the details here. And right now, there's a little issue with the code, but I'm gonna fix that. But you just refresh and it shows up. You can also edit the announcement. So here, you enter ID 1, so that's the announcement. You can enter the info, and then you can redo the info like quiz 1 on Monday. Another feature of this is both of these are empty. It doesn't add to anything, and you can see that in the JavaScript, like in our local storage here. So here you can see assignment announcements. There's nothing. And then syllabus is like something the same. You can create a syllabus, which is like enter the class name was like CPTS 322. Syllabus details here, and it populates here. You can also edit or delete it. So like let's say you delete it, and then here you can go back and do quiz CPTS 322, and it pops back up in our local storage. Um, the same thing works for assignments. I got it fully working this time. Last time there was a few issues. And then blah 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 2/22/24. And it pops up here. Another thing I worked on files, which isn't fully complete, is it allows for files like here. You can upload like a PNG. And right now it just stores locally on local storage, but that's an issue where it's like you can't really display it to the screen very well, and then you can remove it, but the remove feature doesn't work because it's not fully implemented. And then finally, this is going to be removed at the end, but this allows you to go to the student page, and you can see that there's a quick announcement quiz one on Monday, and then also pops up with the syllabus. Same thing with assignments, and then files obviously isn't fully working, but that's my main issue for sprint three. But you can also see here that the student can't modify this, whereas the teacher can modify delete. And that's it for my sprint, and then Marcos is gonna start his.
All right. All right, hold on. We started looking again. All right, for what I did, hold on. What I did is the grades tab. It's probably gonna work with Seth's assignment when creating a new assignment. So what we have is assignment title, like it could be anything like group project one, two, a PA, or even a quiz. And we have the due date, and then we also have the submission status. So this the check marks for obvious if it was submitted, and the X was if it wasn't. We have you could also do any grading scale like 9 out of 10, F, out of 100, and then this is reviewing any feedback, um, like whatever the instructor, professor, teacher left, and then we could close out of it. I'm still working on seeing if there's nothing, just to put like a blank NA right there. But other than that, uh, yeah, this is for the student side also. I don't think there'd really be a teacher side because it's probably gonna work with the assignment. But yeah, so I don't know if we want to
Yeah.
start. Hold up.
Yeah, so my tasks for Sprint 2 were finishing implementing the login page as well as implementing the admin UI page uh, so that admin users can log in. Uh, yeah, so you go to the admin tab, enter in admin 789, and then the password is password 3. This is just a dummy account for admin. Then you log in, it says it's successful. And now you're in the admin dashboard. You have four tabs for admins. One is managing users. So the admin can create and deactivate a user. You have view users, which allows the admin to see which users are given access to the grade tracker. So here you just click on the display users button and it shows uh, the list of students, teachers, and the admins. Then you have modify users, so which you use to modify the password of a user. So for example, let's just, if we go back to view users, let's just say we use student 123. And for the password, instead of password 1, we just put password 2. And it's a student, modify the user, it's modified successfully. Then if you go back and click on display users, the password is updated for that student. Yeah, let me just do that again. Modify user, uploaded, modified successfully, and updated successfully. And manage admins, you use this feature to uh, remove admins from having access to the admin dashboard. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Uh, the only thing that I have to implement is sending an email to newly created users or deactivated users, informing them that their account has been created or deactivated. And that's it on my end.
So for some of the things that went good for us, I think obviously we did get out a lot of features. We got over 6 done. I think that wasn't part of us getting more used to using JavaScript, HTML. I know I've never used it before this class, so I think that was one of the good things that we got more experience under our belts. And then another good thing is that we went to TAs for help. Like this last Friday, we went to class to get help asking a question about our email system, how that's going to work. That was another good thing that we did. The communication between our group didn't break down. I know some groups, their communication's probably not there at all. And then some of the things we'd like to improve on is um, I would say our code. I feel like our code again, like in Sprint 1, I feel like there's a lot of our code that we could use uh in each other's in each other's feature. And we're just wasting time trying to create more code when we could somebody like Seth already had it done, we could just use it on our side. Um Another thing is testing better. I feel like there's things that I found uh when doing like a little bit of testing that didn't work. I feel like more testing would make our feature more efficient and better. And then another thing is like documentation, document our code good, make sure that if somebody else looks at it, they can understand everything. And then some of the things we want to do for the next sprint is we want to finish all the features by the next sprint, by sprint 3. And then we also want to have more in-person meetings. I know that was kind of difficult for this sprint because I know I had exams. I don't know about you two if you guys had exams, but I definitely had exams, so it limited me a lot from meeting in person. And then yeah, just finishing the last user stories that we have 2, 3, 11, and 8, and then putting them in the done category in the Kanban board. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Seth.
No, so Sprint 2 went pretty successful. I'm very happy and pleased with how many features we were able to come out. I felt like communication was good, like Marco said. We didn't break down. When everyone was struggling, we were able to help them. And I think our main goal for Sprint 3 is focusing on making sure the assignment section works because that's one of the most importance, and that with the discussion forum. But that's our main goal for Sprint 3 is just being able to finish early is our more important thing, is we'd rather have it done early, and so we have time to test and review the code. But that's pretty much it for Sprint 2 and our plans for Sprint 3.
You can
Thank
stop it, Seth.
Yeah, so you can end it.
All right.